Hello and welcome to the BriSCA V8 Online Championship Season 2 finale. We are here at the Bloomfield Speedway circuit for the Champion of Champions final and for the final round of the series. So we have a rather bumper-packed evening for you set up. Of course, we have a standard meeting here at Bloomfield with the heats running in A, B and C's, as we've got quite a big entry list, followed by the all-comers final and then into the Champion of Champions semi-finals and final in that respect. So let's have a little look at the actual format whilst everyone joins in to the room. So we've got heat 1 is A and C groups, 2 is B and C, 3 is A and E together. All of those will be 15 laps each. Top 4 will go through to the final. Then obviously the consolation, which will be 15 laps, which will have the remaining places filled. Into the final will be 14 cars, 20 laps. All comers is 15 laps, and then there's elimination before we head over to the Champion of Champions. I imagine there might be a small break there to work out the points because it'll be including the last round here. The semi-final for the Champion of Champions will be 15 laps each. Both semi-finals have the top 7 go through to the Champion of Champion finals, with a last chance roughly between 5 and 8 laps depending on how much time we have at the end. Then obviously the final will be 25 laps, and then that will be the finish. There is talk about having a teams race possibly next week or sometime after here, but it really depends on the time and the entry list as people start going back to normality, hopefully mid-January. So let's have a look at the first of the drivers to join here. I think we looking at the first heat, which at the moment is looking like Guy Jolly, James Billows, Callum Baker is coming back for a piece of the action. Danny Scholes, Benny is there, Ben Watkiss, Stephen Young, Rob Pellet, of course, with Darren Parker, Kieran, which is our usual commentator. He is in the final race with Sam Briggs, and don't forget that I will be myself in the end of the stream, racing myself in the Champion of Champions races. So it will be good to have a mixture of watching the races and on boards with when I go to do the races myself. Plenty of big names in there, and no doubt plenty of action to be had, and it looks like we could be pretty much ready to go there or thereabouts as I ready myself up. So the cars all get themselves gridded up, we will get ourselves out of the way, and we can go through the grids whilst we wait. So the first grid then for the first race of the night in this heat. At the front in the white roofs we've got Callum Baker, and there's Danny Scholes getting herself ready. In the blue roofs we've got Guy Jolly, Ben Watkiss, Stephen Young, and then of course in the red roofs we've got James Billows, Sam Briggs, Darren Parker and Rob Pellet, who's been moved to a red, and Benny at the back in the silver roof. And away they go. Good start from Callum, and a poor start from Danny Scholes. So already she's back into the hands of the Blues, and that's Ben Watkiss spinning round as well. So Guy Jolly and Youngie together in second and third, with Danny Scholes in fourth now. The Reds are already hounding, and that's James Bellows getting hit by Rob. James Bellows goes into the wall, and that's Rob going wide, so that didn't help neither of them. And that's Guy Jolly as well, being pushed off the circuit. So currently Callum leading, and that's Danny Scholes pushed off into the tyres, and that's not helped her either. So Darren and Sam Briggs are into second and third now, with Ben Watkins and Betty further down. Guy Jolly is behind them in sixth position, and that's Callum. I think Callum's made a mistake on his own. Look off in the background there, so Callum goes off with no one to blame but himself. So Darren Parker now leading this race, with Benny already up into second in the silver roof there. So Benny showing some real strength here, and this is probably one of the most disliked circuits out of the lot of them, with this horrible banked outer side. As soon as you go off, it's hard to get back on the circuit. So Darren is still fighting with Benny for the lead then. Sam Briggs is doing well and is actually into second now, but Darren gets the cut back, and the two of them are fighting for second and third. That's Rob Pellet and Guy Jolly had a bit of a tussle there for sixth and seventh, as Ben Watkins goes ahead, and Guy Jolly now gets back in front of Ben, and Rob stays on the back end of Ben to see if he can take advantage of those two having a fight. And there's a bit of a slowdown there from Ben. I'm not sure what happened there, but three car pile up, and that's Ben Watkins, James Billows and Rob Pellet all going off into the advertisement boards, so that's really going to push them down the grid. Darren Parker still in third as you go past. Youngie and Guy Jolly fighting for fourth and fifth. So as they come round, this is lap 9 of 15, lap 10 now, so Benny is still leading at Sam and Sam and Darren are still fighting for second and third, so they're a little bit behind Benny now, so Benny is comfortably leading. Benny ticks down those laps and is actually looking really strong here, and as you can see, Benny's going to come past for another lap as Sam Brigg and Darren Parker are getting involved here with Callum and Rob at the back. Danny Scholes up to sixth. That's not too bad for Danny after going off earlier. That's Callum. Oh, that's big time into the wall. So Callum's struggling here, so he's going to have to probably go into the second of his heats looking for some better results, and that's Benny again going round for his final lap. Here comes Benny, takes the win, so Benny wins. Sam Brigg is going to come away second, Darren Parker takes a good third, and Stephen Young takes fourth. Guy Jolly is going to come round to take fifth potentially. Ben Watkins sixth, James Billows seventh, Danny Scholes eighth, and then of course Callum is going to be behind Rob Pellet in ninth and 10th. So already some fisticuffs in the first race, very bumper to bumper, and no doubt that will continue. So a good win for Benny. Sam second, Darren third, and Stephen Young is fourth for the first of the qualifiers. So that's groups A and C into the next heat. Heat 2 will be groups B and C. So a handful of the guys that were in that race will stick around, and Group B will join them for their first heat, and this will be Group C, Group C's second race. And it looks like Callum is sticking around, as is Benny, Ben and Sam Brigg with Guy Jolly, and of course Kieran was in the room, but he wasn't actually in the race, so he will be in this one for Group B. So first of the guys turning up, which is Luke Noxie there. Good to see him involved, as well as Joe McCall, Joe Thomas. Just waiting for the next few to turn up. I don't know if there's many more, if that's going to be it. Looks like everyone is ready. We may be missing a few people. Craig Kellett, who was due to enter, hasn't arrived just yet, maybe running a little bit late, as is CJ. So we are underway. So this is it for the Group B cars. And it looks like they've all retired, and it's like they're going to head back into the lobby. Maybe either an error, mistake, or they were waiting for someone else to turn up potentially. So we will try that again. There we go. There's probably the reason why we ended up coming back into the lobby. There is Chris. So Chris Watkis is in the lobby then. So CJ is still not quite here yet. Neither is Craig. So the grid then for the first of B and C together, which is Heat 2. The white roofs of Callum Baker and Chris Watkis, blue roofs Guy Jolly, Ben Watkis and Kieran Thomas, red roofs of course Joe McCall and Sam Brigg, and at the back we've got Joe, sorry not Joe, it's Luke Knox and Benny in the red and the silver roofs. So they are ready to go. White roofs. Callum got a good start last time and he gets another fairly good start. Chris gets an okayish start, but that's already Ben Watkis on the inside of him, and Guy and Ben get caught up with each other, nearly Joe as well. So that's Ben Watkis already pushed down to the far back of the grid. Kieran already making some progress up into second, but he's got Sam Brigg and he's got Joe there with him as well. Chris Watkis on the outside of Kieran on the inside, and that slowed them down slightly, and there's almost everyone else there. There's Joe and Chris that go into the wall, so that's everyone else disappearing. There's Callum, that's Joe, and that's Guy all going wide there. So after a little bit of a tussle there between Joe and Chris, that's put Kieran into the lead, Benny into second, Ben Watkis and Luke Knox there are getting caught up as well. So it looks like Chris Watkis has decided to only just get started after that, but very interesting from that start there. So things are settled, the cars have dispersed slightly, and Kieran is really comfortably in the lead here with Benny just behind him. Benny did really well in his first heat, but Kieran making some good progress, and that Sam Briggs going wide. So Luke Knox takes up his position in third in the podium, and Sam already trying to pressure him to get that position back off of Knoxy. So the lead here between Kieran and Benny still raging on, and Benny looking like he's just got that advantage, and has got himself into the lead and has gapped Kieran already. There's Callum still struggling in this heat, so Callum's still got a lot to learn. So there's Kieran and Benny then still. Luke Knox still in third position. Sam Brigg is in fourth with Joe McCall, Guy Jolly and Ben Watkis behind them in 7th, 5th, 6th and 7th. So as I say, it's just, oh, that's Chris Watkis, and that's a massive impact into the concrete bollard there, and I don't quite know what he was doing. So that's a really unusual place to be hitting that, and maybe he just turned in way too keenly, too tight to try and get the advantage of the corner, and he's just really not helped himself there. So Benny's leading, Kieran is second. Let's keep an eye on this fight for the lead, as Benny seems to, oh, Guy Jolly there nearly going into Kieran. But Benny's comfortably leading. Kieran is doing alright in second, is quite comfortable still. There's Chris Watkis again, and he's struggling. Luke looking like he's quite, oh, and that was I think that was Chris who's lost his roof. So as I say, Kieran is now under slight pressure from Luke Knox. He's not fully behind him yet, but Luke is looking racy, and I think he's catching him slightly. I don't think it might be. Is it going to be enough? The gap is slightly closing. Callum getting out of the way of Luke there, and I think Luke is getting closer and closer, but ultimately Benny is going to take the win, and Kieran takes second, Luke takes third, and I'm slightly out with my laps following another car. So Knoxy gets third, Sam Briggs gets fourth, Ben Watkis gets fifth, Joe sixth, Guy Jolly is going to come away with seventh, and Callum eighth, with Chris having an absolute nightmare in that race. So Chris really needs to look at pushing himself for that final position in today's final. Ultimately though, Benny gets the win, his second win of the evening already, so Benny looking very strong here. Kieran a really strong second, Luke third, and Sam fourth for the qualifying positions there, of course, after the points have added up. So on to heat 3 then, which will be groups A and C. So of course Luke Knox, Joe McCall, Chris Watkis and Kieran will stick around. Darren Parker, Rob Pellett, Danny Scholes will return for this race. Darren Parker was strong in that one as well in his first heat, so can he get a good result in this one as well? Also, Stephen Young returns into this heat. We could here have potential for Craig Kellett to return last minute in this heat. So in this heat then we've got of course Kieran, who came second, Luke coming third, with Darren having a strong result. Sam was pretty strong, but he's not in here, and neither is Benny, so I reckon it could be an interesting fight into this heat. And of course, no doubt, Craig Kellett, the Gold Roof, who, it's a shame that he's turning up last minute, but he could be an influence in this race. If he was to win it, he could, I don't know if he would actually qualify with a 0-point result in the first heat, but no doubt he will be a strong contender in the last chance qualifier if he has to go through that direction. So it looks like everyone is here, ready. I've just got to wait for Rob to confirm, and then Guy Jolly will start the heat. So maybe something's happening at the moment, because we're not quite heading off into the race just yet. I think there's a bit of chatter going on, maybe discussing something that's going down in the races. In the meantime, don't forget that the Feckrest renamed to KTEC Online Racing Touring Car Series is expanding, and season 4 is getting away in a few weeks' time, in the middle of January. The media day will be on the 18th of January, where all the cars will collectively get together, and all the cars and the liveries will be revealed. The following week it will start with the round 1 at Monza, and because of the expansion, the entry list is looking at numbers of 28 so far, our biggest entry list so far, which will mean 2 completely separate leagues. Some exciting stuff going on there, so look out for that with the videos. And of course anyone can still enter in the last few positions. And I'm in the way, right in the way of everyone here. There we go. So Guy is getting himself out of the way for this race. Let's see if I've got enough time to go through the grid. So they're the white roofs: Chris Watkins and Danny Scholes, Kieran and Stephen Young in the blue roofs. Red roofs: Darren Parker, James Billows, Rob Pellet and Joe McCall, sorry, with of course Noxie at the back with Craig Kellett, who is just about made it for the race. We're ready to go, and Danny Scholes has disappeared. So Danny Scholes looks like she might have had some technical issues. She has disappeared from the grid, and away they go. That's a real shame for Danny. Chris gets a decent start though, and Youngie gets ahead of Kieran into second. Kieran stays in third. Rob is fourth with Joe McCall. Darren getting together, so they're already fighting it out. James Billows is pretty much there, and Craig is quickly moving up the grids, but at the front Chris Watkins is still leading with Stephen Young and Kieran all really battling it out for the three of them. Looking interesting, this one. Kieran gets up on the inside of Stephen and is looking racy himself. Kieran obviously desperate for a win after getting a great second in the first heat, or his first heat. That's Chris going wide, so Joe goes wide as well. So now it's a fight between Kieran and Stephen Young, looking really close, and there was a bit of a tap there from Kieran, and look at Stephen, that's a massive crash. He goes into nearly the shed at the side there, so I wonder if that's going to be looked at, because Kieran, there was a little bit of a tap, he pushed him wide, but obviously it's a little bit of contact in this, and it's all guns blazing, elbows out at the moment in this particular race. But look at this, Rob Pellet is doing great in second, and for third it's everyone there. 3 red roofs and a gold roof for Craig. Darren goes really wide, so he loses out, and Craig is pushed wide as well, so Craig's going into the advertisement boards. That's going to slow him down big time, and Luke also goes wide with him. So this is really chopping and changing here, and very messy so far. James Bellows is up to third, with Darren Parker up to fourth, Chris Watkins and Joe McCall fighting it out behind him for 5th and 6th. So Kieran comfortably leading, but could Rob Pellet come up and take that win and snatch it from him? Kieran has got no one in front of him, so he's got no pressure there, no traffic to deal with as of yet, and Rob hasn't got too much for behind him other than James Billows, who looks like he could potentially put the threat on, and Darren as well, who's very quick, could put the pressure on both Billows and Rob. Rob goes slightly wide, so he looks slow out of that corner. James Billows is slightly catching him. Kieran is actually gapping Rob here, so it looks really even so far, and anything, if you look at the rest of the pack, it's actually looking very spaced out. Everyone's behaving themselves at the moment, so Kieran at the moment is in the best shape to take a win. Everyone's behaving themselves, and I'm not sure why. Stephen Young drops down, so could cause a problem for Kieran. So I'm a little bit blind to the laps, unfortunately, because it's only counting someone who's retired, so I can't actually see how many laps are left, which is a shame. So we're going to just announce the winner as soon. Oh, there it is. There's Kieran takes the win, Rob takes second, Darren takes fourth, Billows takes third, Majo McCall takes 5th, Noxie takes 6th, Craig Kellick takes a disappointing 7th, so that's not going to help him into the final. He's almost definitely, get my words out, going to have to go into the last chance consolation race to get a position in the final. Chris gets 8th with Youngie in 9th, and so yeah, interesting, that one. A good win for Kieran, well deserved. Interesting to see the contact between him and Stephen Young. I wonder how that's going to go down, but a really strong one for Rob Pellet there as well. Darren gets a strong 4th with James Billows getting a good result too. So they're going to work the points out, no doubt, and this will mean we will go into the consolation race, and it'll be interesting to see who makes it. Already we're seeing the positions being worked out. So consolation race then. We have in here Danny Scholes, who was unfortunately kicked out of the lobby. She had some technical issues, so she's going to have to try and get in through the last chance with Joe McCall. Chris Watkins, Kieran isn't here, but I don't think he's actually going to be racing. Craig Kellett obviously because he wasn't here for the first heat and struggled in his second heat. Callum, who has not really got it down quite successfully yet at this circuit, so Callum hoping to get some decent results here, and Ben Watkis, who has struggled too as well. So again, I think we're waiting for potentially someone to turn up for the consolation race, as we haven't really set out to the track to begin it with everyone ready. Of course, I think this is a great opportunity for Craig to get through, and I would say that Joe McCall and Ben Watkis will do well here, but you never know. Danny Scholes could potentially get a last position in there as well. I'm not sure who we're just waiting on. Okay, there we go. So we're ready now. So it's interesting that Callum has decided to disappear. Not sure what's going on with Callum. So in this last consolation race we've got, that's interesting. I'm sure that was, am I confusing myself? Maybe I am. So Callum is in the front here with Danny Scholes, Chris Watkis, Guy Jolly, Ben Watkis, Joe McCall, and of course Craig Kellett at the back. He's got some work to do at the back there, but we know what Craig is like, so I'm sure he can no doubt get that win. So a good start from Chris Watkis, gets ahead of Dung Beetle, Callum Baker. Danny Scholes struggles off the line. Ben Watkis is already showing the intentions here, and he takes the lead. Callum is all over the place, really struggling to get control of his car. And Chris Watkis, Ben Watkis, two brothers in Now, oh, someone hit the grass there. So Callum dropping down already, which is a real shame. And then there's Joe McCall and Craig. Look at Craig already up into the mid-pack, into 4th position. So as we said, he would probably make light work of being at the back here in his goal position. But Ben Watkins looking strong in the lead so far. Joe McCall could potentially push him for the lead, and that's Guy Jolly off the circuit. So good, Guy Jolly's could potentially miss out on the final here. Ben Watkins still leading. Craig is now in 3rd and is behind Joe McCall, so this could be a great 3-way battle. And if he kicks off, he'll give an opportunity for other people to get through, and that is Ben Watkins who does that on his own. He goes really wide, and because he runs wide, it allows Joe and Craig to get together, and they're now battling out for the lead of this race, and Craig takes the lead comfortably. So Craig is leading, Joe is 2nd, Ben is 3rd now. They've all swapped, but Ben takes a great little dive on the inside, but he's slow out. Chris Watkins behind him with Callum in 5th, so he's not doing too bad, and getting himself settled now. Craig still leading. Danny Scholes is being lapped, so she's going to make things very interesting for these leaders, but she runs a bit wide, so Joe and Ben managed to get past without no problems as such. And there's Danny Scholes. She goes really wide and nearly goes into the wall, but Craig is still leading, and although he's leading and he's leading well, he's not really rushing away from Joe. So Joe is keeping him honest, with Ben just slightly struggling to keep up with the top 2 here. Oh, Chris goes wide, and that's put Chris into the wall. That's a real shame, because Chris was doing really strong in 4th, and now 4th is in the hands of Callum Baker, but he's really under threat here from Guy Jolly. This could be one of the last positions to get through to the final. Craig still leading, Joe still 2nd, Ben still 3rd, and 4th is this fantastic battle now between Callum and Guy. I'm not entirely sure whether Callum's actually got through to a final this season, but if so, that's my apology. But if not, it could be a good opportunity for him here to see if he can get involved. So Craig's still leading. Again, no laps on the counter, so there's the winner. Craig gets it, Joe gets 2nd, Ben gets 3rd, and here comes Callum. He takes 4th ahead of Guy, so a good result for Callum there. So I think it's the top 6 that get through. So Craig, Joe, Ben Watkins, Callum, Guy Jolly and Chris Watkins gets through, and unfortunately Danny Scholes isn't going to get through. So as you said, of course, a good result for Craig there, as he wins the last minute consolation. So we go into the final. So here come our finalists into the lobby, ready for the final. Darren in there, Noxie, Joe, Sam Brigg, Rob Pellet, Chris Watkis, Benny, Kieran, Craig Kellett, Callum Baker and Ben Watkis. James Billows also turning up. Some real big names in there, all potential winners. Benny is really showing a strong, has had a strong showing, so far tonight with 2 wins in the heats. Can he replicate that in the final to take a triple and a complete washout for the rest of them? Or is it going to be snatched away by someone else? Loads of names there. Craig is here now. Kieran potential as well, he's been strong, as has Rob, Darren, even Luke Knox, Sam Brigg. Quite a few names could take it away. But good to see Callum in the final. Stephen Young as well, he's just joined. So it looked like we were ready to go, but Chris and Benny not quite ready yet. I think they may be going over the rules. Of course, in the final it is a side-by-side rolling start. Ordinarily you'd get the pace car, which Kieran would be driving, but Kieran is actually in the final, so he won't be doing that tonight. Wonder if they're just working out an alternative. So once the final is done and out of the way, the all-comers will be run straight afterwards with the elimination, and then we get underway for the Champion of Champions, which I'll be there and thereabouts in it. So everyone's getting ready, even myself needs to get out of the way. So in the situation we have here, it looks like they've gone for a gridded order in their roofs rather than a side-by-side rolling start. So of course Chris with Watkins and Dunn, Beetle, Callum, Baker at the front in the white roofs, blue roofs Kieran, Ben, Youngie, Jollers, Guy Jolly in the blue roofs, and they are rolling starting. So Sam Brigg, James Billows, Darren Parker, Joe McCall and Rob Pellett in the red roofs. A little bit of argy-bargy there going on between Rob and Darren. Benny, Luke Knox and Craig Kellett at the back in their respective colours as well, looking for an interesting fight here. It could be very interesting. And away they go. Chris gets it underway. It's a good start from Chris. Callum goes slightly wide, allowing Kieran to potentially get up on the inside. And the red roofs are getting involved, tussling there, and bumper to bumper, side by side, Kieran and Ben. So Ben goes ahead of Kieran, and Kieran's ahead of Youngie, with Guy Jolly, Callum following on from behind in 6th position. So Chris still leading. If he can keep himself composed, he should be able to get a good result here. But Ben on the outside now, so Ben easily gets past. Look at the confidence Ben's got going on the outside of Chris. Kieran looking to see if he can overtake as well, with Stephen Young pushing Kieran. It's a little bit of a tap, pushes him slightly wide. Chris goes wide again, so Chris goes down to 5th. Guy Jolly goes up to 4th. Guy goes wide. See the different lines here. Craig already up to 7th, with Joe McCall, Benny, Darren, Noxie and Rob Pellett and Billows at the back. So Ben still continuing on in the lead with Kieran and Youngie. So this is a three-way battle between the blue roofs here, and this could be interesting. Could it go all the way down to the end? We don't know just yet, but it could do. But Craig, look at that, Craig's just got past Chris Watkins. So Craig is now up to 6th, so already very quickly moving up. But has he got enough laps to catch up to the blues? He's about half a lap, maybe less than half a lap behind. So it could happen, it might not happen. But Ben Watkins looking strong still, with Kieran still in 2nd and Stephen Young still in 3rd. Neither of them able to really catch up with Ben and put the pressure on just yet, but the 3 of them are holding well in their positions. So Craig up to 5th now, and he's got a big gap to get ahead of Guy Jolly. Behind them it's all kind of settled down as well. So Chris is ahead of Benny, who's ahead of Darren, with Joe, Luke Knox, James Billows, Rob Pellett and Callum at the back respectively. Ben comes around for another lap soon. They could be catching. It's probably about a quarter of a lap still to go between them and the back of the field, but Craig is not quite catching just yet. I don't think really he's going to have enough to push for that win. But one person who could win this is Kieran, because he's now on the back of Ben and he's really putting him under pressure and looking really racy. So Ben no doubt will be racing, looking behind him more than looking in front of him. It's easier said than done, but it's and there's the first dive from Kieran. Kieran's got the inside and he's got the advantage now into the next corner, so Kieran could take the lead of this final, and he's looking really good, but they're side by side. Ben's having none of it, and Ben's still on the outside, and Ben and Kieran having a fantastic race here. This is great stuff. They're keeping it clean, they're giving each other space. So oh, bit of a push by Ben, pushes Kieran, and this is getting interesting. Craig is slightly catching with Guy. Further down the field it's all kind of collectively staying the same, other than Callum and Chris Watkins. Or Callum spun. Is that going to cause problems for the top 3? No, it's not. So it's the last lap then, and Kieran is still leading. Because can Kieran take the win? Ben's got a bit of a push. Who's gonna take the win? Sorry, my fault, it wasn't the last lap. Kieran's gone on the inside, it's now the last lap. Ben's got another push. It could be Young, it could be Ben, it could be Kieran. It's Kieran. Kieran gets the win, just ahead of Ben Watkiss. Youngie gets third, Guy Jolly gets fourth, Craig gets fifth, Benny gets sixth, Darren gets seventh, Luke Knox gets eighth, Majo gets ninth, James Bellows gets 10th, Rob Pellet gets 11th, Chris Watkiss gets 12th, and 13th is Callum Baker. So well done to Kieran for getting the win. And that was a fantastic race. It was nearly Ben, it was nearly Stephen Young, and as you can see with the laps there, it was really, really close in the final corners. A fantastic finish to that round. Now heading on to a elimination, and maybe we could get some of the guys in a chat. Let's have a little invite, shall we? Let's get Kieran in and see what he wants to say about it. Here's Kieran then.
Alright.
That was a good race.
That was a very close race.
That was really good.
Really good.
That was really good. Probably one of the closest I've had, other than the one with Darren, Rob and Craig, I think it was. But I mean, like, you guys were all close, literally around almost most of the race.
It was literally like all the blue roofs up in front, trying to get through. No, it was a lot of patience, and it was very close race.
I mean, you and Ben literally just like side by side. I could believe how he managed to stay on you on your outside, and then there was just a few pushes and it was getting a little bit physical, and I was like, look, getting a bit desperate. And at one point I thought
it was going to mess up at one point. I thought this is getting too good to be true. Well, Something's going to go wrong.
It got to the last corner and there was a push by Ben, and I thought both of you gone slightly wide and slow. So I thought Stephen Young. I thought Young, he might have had you both. But it was.
I know. I tried to keep it very tight for the last Ben type thing, to hopefully to get round, and if I get shunted, I might still come out all right. But it was really close.
Yeah,
it was
really good,
really close. But it was very, very interesting.
Here's the other one.
The other two.
Hello.
Well, that was close. That was great. That was, I mean, like the whole way round you were fighting it out. How you managed to stay on the outside, Ben, I don't know. That was really, and then I honestly thought Youngie had it. I thought Youngie had it right at the end when both of you kind of got a little bit wide and a bit slow on the out of the corner, and I thought Youngie had you and he didn't, and Kieran just made it. So
I was shocked, right? So I saw Youngie being very patient out of the whole thing. Staying behind both of us, I thought he's going to try something.
It's going to happen here.
He was just waiting for that moment.
Yeah, that's it. But if he can have a big last bender, we can sneak up the inside. But just not enough.
I thought I'd try and keep tight as possible to the inside. I thought, please, come out, all right. No, it was good last lap, especially.
Yeah, it was really close finish now.
Really good, really entertaining to watch, so you can watch it back, and I think it'll be a good one to watch back for you guys. Well done, nice one, very entertaining for everyone to watch, good stuff. Good luck with the Champion of Champions. How are you feeling about that? No, never goes that well.
I'll tell you something, on that last race as well, I was expecting Benny being there somewhere.
Yeah, he wasn't, was he?
No, I was waiting for his name to start peering onto the
even
board.
Craig was going through, but he wasn't going through quick enough, and there was a big gap between. Once he got past Chris into 5th, there was a big gap between him and Guy, and he just couldn't catch up quick enough, and there wasn't enough laps. So Craig wasn't anywhere near you guys.
It was good.
Good stuff, Rod. I'll let you go for the elimination. All comers.
All comers, yeah.
All comers first, and it's elimination. So good stuff. Might see you guys later on when you're for the Champion of Champions. Speak to you later. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so the guys are just getting themselves ready for the all-comers, just organising it now. Got to speak to the guys in the final. As I said, very entertaining, so if you missed it, I definitely recommend you go back and watch it. I certainly will go back and watch it again myself. Hopefully a sign of things to come for later on. Okie dokie, let's have a look then at the all-comers. We've got Chris Watkis and Danny Scholes in the white roofs at the forefront of the grid there. Ben Watkis, Stephen Young, Guy Jolly in the blue roofs. Joe McCall, Darren Parker, Sam Briggs, CJ, Rob Pellet with Luke Knox, with of course Benny and Craig Kellett at the back in the gold and the silver. And for the first time ever, Kieran is at the front in the blue roof, who has got to do an extra lap, and that's Chris Watkis facing the wrong way. As we were looking and explaining Kieran, Chris ended up facing the wrong way. I don't know where from. There's CJ gets involved because he didn't manage to get involved in the earlier races, so good to see CJ back. CJ's nearly spun out already, and there's Chris Watkis going wide, and that's Rob Pellet as well going wide, so it's all a bit elbows out for this race so far. So Ben Watkis is leading after narrowly missing out on that win in the final. Danny Scholes is second, James Billows is third, Stephen Young is fourth with Joe McCall, Darren Parker, Noxie, Sam Brigg and Guy Jolly all involved fifth, further down to about ninth. Benny and Craig making progress already, with Chris Watkis, CJ and Rob pushed down. There's Kieran, who's got to work really hard to get round and catch up to the rest of the pack. So here comes Ben Watkis, James Billows, Danny Scholes. There's a push there from Luke Knox onto Stephen Young. Oh, Snoxy and Youngie both going off. They got caught up really there and pushed each other off. And actually Luke has spun round now after getting involved with Chris Watkis, so that's all kicking off. Darren Parker is up to third now, but he's got no roof, and that's Craig. Craig goes wide, gets pushed off onto the grass, keeps control and back onto the circuit, but that's really slowed him down all the way down to the back near Rob Pellet in 10th there. Oh, Guy Jolly and CJ, and that's Craig. Craig is facing the wrong way again, so Craig goes through the advertising boards, through the tyres, and it looks like he's got a big target on him. People are making it difficult for him to even take anywhere near a win. And that's Chris. So Chris is actually wrecked. He's retired. He's going nowhere, so he's retired out of this race. And that's someone else going really wide then. That's Guy Jolly, and that's Danny Scholes facing the wrong way. She hits the wall and spins out. Let's try and catch up with the leader, which is actually James Billows. So James somewhere. Ben Watkis has been hit or spun out, because Ben Watkis is now down in 14th, is in last. I don't know how the hell that happened. So here comes James Billows. There's Craig, who's actually a lap down, so Craig is being overlapped, which is something you don't say every day. So James Billows, Benny and Joe McCall now. There's Craig again running wide. Rob Pellet is joining him with Sam Brigg. There's Craig and Rob. Look at them. They've been having a bit of fun now because they're a lap down. So James Billows, where's Kieran? Kieran's up to 8th, so he's doing well, keeping out of trouble, potentially. And that's someone... Oh! That's Darren Parker going over the concrete bollards. And he's really kicking off. There's Kieran. Kieran gets spun. I'll just say he was kind of out of the trouble, but it's a lot more physical, this race, after everyone tries to be nice in the final. It's a bit serious. The all-comers is a slightly different ball game. There's Guy Jolly going really wide. So leading still is sorry, not Billows, Benny now. Benny's leading, so let's keep an eye on the leader of this race then. So Benny is leading with Joe McCall in second. James Billows is still up there but in third. Sam Briggs is fourth, and Craig is ninth, so he's not actually caught up. Ben Watkis jumps back on the track there after going off. Here's Benny. Benny pushes Guy Jolly wide, and that's Joe McCall. So Mad Joe's going really wide there. He's back on the circuit. So Joe has been pushed off slightly. Oh, someone's rolled it big time. There's Benny. Benny, the leader of the race, rolls the car. How the hell that happened, I don't know. So Benny is out of the lead of this race, and he's dropping down like a lead balloon. That was it's a shame. We just... Oh, also there's Danny Scholes. I think like she's retired as well. We did actually catch that big roll from Benny, but I didn't see quite what happened. I might have to look back at myself and find out really what happened. So James Billows leads the race in. Sam Brigg is in second. Mad Joe is third. Ignore Craig because he's a lap down. He's in 8th, so he's not really a factor in this. He could make himself a factor, but he isn't actually part of the results. James goes quite tight on the corner there, and Sam Brigg and James Billows both go into the wall. Who gets the win? I don't know who's won. Billows gets the win. Briggs gets second. Joe gets third. Benny gets fourth after that somersault of a crash, and CJ gets fifth, with Stephen Young 6th. Luke Knox gets 7th. Craig Kellett is going to come away with 8th. Kieran gets 9th. Darren 10th. Rob Pellet 11th. Guy Jolly is going to take 12th, and Ben Watkis will come away with 13th after leading this race for some time. So how that happened, oh, that was really interesting. Two of them went into that wall on the final there. It's been a really interesting event tonight at Bloomfield. But Billows gets the win just literally by pushing Briggsy into the wall, essentially. So on to the elimination then, and so the elimination runs slightly different. If you've ever joined us, you'll know how it works. If not, then the elimination is simply a way of making things different. The cars won't grid up in their roof grades respectively. They will all just bunch up as they are gridded up in the game, and then they all go through each lap, and the person in last position is eliminated once the leader crosses the line after every lap, until there's only one car left. So we're just waiting for the guys to switch over to get the elimination race ready. So as I said, we're still waiting for the right amount of people, to get into the elimination race here. A little bit confusing, maybe, but I think we're nearly ready to go. So I do apologise for the wait. We are still unsure of what's happening here with the elimination race. It looks like it's just Kieran and Guy to ready up, but maybe they're going through a few of the situations, the regulations and the format. So as we can see, the guys are gridding up in a particular fashion that means that they're all bunched up. There is no roof grade order. At the front we've got Youngie, Noxie and Billows. Away they go. So Billows gets the best start, and that's Sam Brigg and Ben Watkins, Benny and Chris all going off together. So that's a four-way crash really into the first corner, as it always bunches up. So CJ is up to third. There's Youngie and Craig. So CJ and Youngie going wide as Craig gets involved, and it looks like that's Chris Watkins who's going to be eliminated already. And there he is, eliminated. So Chris is out. So Ben Watkins is going to be next, as he is actually looks like he's stuck. He's actually he's left the lobby, so he might have had an issue. So Luke Knox is leading now. Luke Knox is leading, a three-way tussle between Noxie, Billows and Craig Kellick. Craig Kellick takes the lead. Knox is pushed wide twice there from Joe as well. So Craig is leading. And Guy Jolly is eliminated. Darren Parker is eliminated. Craig goes wide, so Craig is out into the rough stuff. Callum Baker is facing the wrong way, so no doubt Callum is going to be next. And that's Joe McCall and James Billows running wide. James hits the wall. Youngie takes the lead, so Callum is eliminated. Kieran is up there now, so Kieran goes past James Billows. Can Kieran get a third win of the night after getting a heat win, the final win? He could take the elimination win here if he's clever enough to not get involved. So Luke Knox gets eliminated very quickly. So Luke pushed all the way down after getting involved very early on in all the tussle and the chaos at the start. So Youngie's still leading. That is CJ eliminated. We're down to just 7 cars already. Very quick these races. See how quick they are going. And that's Youngie who's going wide. So Youngie's pushed wide. Kieran pushes him even further. And Joe is leading. So Kieran is up there to take potentially the lead again. He's on his inside. And that is Craig Kellett. He's eliminated from 7th position. So Craig really dropped down after going off wide. So he never really fully recovered. Kieran goes wide. So Benny's eliminated. So Benny's another opportunity missed for Benny. We're down to 5 cars. There's Joe, Stephen Young, Kieran, Rob Pellet and James Billows. James Billows eliminated, so still Joe leading. Kieran has potentially lost his opportunity. Oh, Joe goes wide, so Joe goes wide. Rob just politely sits the rest of the race out as he knows he's going to be eliminated. He's nowhere near. It's down to these 3 then. So look at Rob getting in the way. It's Youngie or Kieran. It's Youngie. Joe gets pushed by Kieran. Joe pushes Kieran. Kieran is literally going to be out now as Joe really pushed him wide. And this is what it's all about. It's dog eat dog. Stephen Youngie is going to take the win, looks like, as Joe hits a car. Youngie goes wide, but Joe's already put himself on the back foot after hitting the car. So Stephen Young takes the win ahead of Joe McCall. Kieran Thomas takes third. Rob Pellett takes fourth. James Billows takes fifth. Betty sixth. Craig seventh. CJ eighth. Noxie ninth. Callum is 10th. Darren 11th. Guy Jolly 12th with Chris and Sam at the back. So we're looking now going into the Champion of Champions. There'll be 2 semi-finals and then the last chance qualifier, and then of course the final in the Champion of Champion races. Okay, so we're ready for the Champion of Champions semi-final, the first one, which I myself will be racing in. So I need to get my car ready. So you'll follow me round the first semi-final. I can try and commentate as much as I can, and then we will follow the second semi-final as normal, and depending if I'm in the final or the last chance qualifier, we will continue on from there. So it looks like we're already in the grid order. 15 laps. Behind me I've got Chris and Callum. In front I've got CJ and Ben Watkis. Below is there, Sam Brigg is there. We have Benny and Luke Knox. And of course Sam Brigg. That's CJ out of the grid position. No, not quite happened with that. So it looks like James below. So that's Sam Brigg facing the wrong way. So I've got Ben Watkis in front of me, CJ's in front of him, and Benny is leading. So up to fourth already. So I'm still in fourth. Ben Watkis and CJ are having a fight up ahead. Benny's still leading. Behind me I've got Luke Knox and James Billow. Not quite sure how close they are. And that's Noxie pushing on. Oh, I've gone wide. I'm going to try and stay on the circuit. James Billow's already coming up as well behind me. Someone off, that's Chris, I believe. Oh no, that's Callum. So Callum comes back on the circuit. Make things interesting. Callum back off the circuit. Sam Briggs behind me now. Billow's still in front, and Luke Knox just in front of him, and that's Benny who's won the race then. CJ comes second, Ben Watkis comes third, then it's Noxie, then it's me, then Sam. So I think I'm through. I think it was top 7, I believe. Although I didn't feel too comfortable in the car. So yeah, top 7 goes through, so I'm into the final. An interesting race, and it looked like it was a comfortable one for Benny, CJ and Ben there. A little bit of a tussle with Sam at the start, so something quite happened there. He got spun out, and essentially he's through, but it was interesting to see him spin out very early on. So on to semi-final number 2. I'll change my settings. So in this we've got Darren Parker, Danny Scholes, Craig Kellett, Joe McCall, sorry, Stephen Young, Kieran Thomas. Sam is sticking around, but he won't be in the race, and of course Rob Pellett is there as well. So let's have a little look then. This is your grid then for this particular semi-final. We've got Craig Kellett and Rob Pellett at the front, Joe McCall and Guy Jolly in row 2. Row 3 is Stephen Youngie, Darren Parker, and row 4 at the back is Kieran Thomas and Danny Scholes. So it's a 1 lap rolling start as they go around the last bend. Things will begin. There we go. So Craig gets a good start. He's got the lead. Rob gets a slightly slower start. Stephen Young gets up into second ahead of Joe and Rob. That's Darren Parker spinning out the back with Danny Scholes going wide, so something must have happened between those two. Craig is still leading and is gapping already. Kieran now is in second with Joe in third, Rob down to fourth, Guy Jolly and Stephen Young following on behind. Danny Scholes already at the back here struggling, so that's a shame for Danny. Craig needs to get past Danny though, and that's Joe going wide. Where is Kieran? Kieran's down to now sixth, so Kieran's had either struggled, gone wide, or he's got involved in some bit of argy-bargy push and shove. So, that's Guy Jolly, that's Danny Scholes, and I thought they were going into the wall then, but I think they got away with it. So let's have a look at the lead then. Craig Kellett is leading, so Joe is still second, Guy Jolly is now third, Kira's fourth, Stephen Young is fifth, Rob Pellett is sixth. We are 15 laps for this particular race. Danny Scholes and Darren Parker bringing up the rear between them. So there is Craig still leading, and Joe's got some catching up to do if he was to make a push for the lead of the race, but in the meantime he's got Kieran behind him, who is looking very racy again, and there's Guy Jolly who gets taps the back end of Kieran and slightly turns him facing the wrong way, so three side by side all the way down the next corner. So Kieran, Stephen Young and Guy Jolly all getting involved with each other. There's Kieran, who's gone into the lead of the race. Not the lead of the race, sorry, he's up to second. Joe is down to third now. So Kieran is into second. So Kieran is on fire tonight and is looking... but Joe back up on the inside, pushing Kieran back wide again. And so Kieran is really showing his some pace tonight. So looking really, really good. Young Ian, Guy Jolly and Rob all looking promising behind, and all potential for a podium position here. It's a five-way fight really for second, third, fourth and fifth and sixth as Craig runs away in the lead. He is nearly half a lap ahead now, but it's still very interesting here for second and third. Kieran and Joe still fighting it out. Kieran's on the inside of Joe now, but not quite got ahead of him for the next corner, so Kieran is still pushing, and Stephen Young is there to try and take advantage of Kieran and Joe having a fight themselves. The laps will be counting down, so Kieran is not quite going to make it as Craig takes the win. Joe takes second, Kieran's third, Youngie is fourth, Guy Jolly is fifth, Rob Pellett is sixth, Darren is seventh, and Danny Scholes is eighth. So that means that Danny Scholes doesn't quite make it into the final, as Darren makes the final position, as all of Craig, Joe, Kieran, Stephen Young, Guy Jolly, Rob Pellett and Darren all make the cut for the final. Danny Scholes taking those advertisement boards down. I think she's got another lap to go really to get round to finish the race. Here she comes. So there you have it. Craig Kellett takes the win. Joe takes second, Kieran third, Youngie fourth, Guy Jolly fifth, Rob Pellett sixth, Darren eighth, and Danny Scholes finishes at the back. So we're going to go into the last chance qualifier consolation race. Just a quick 5-lap dash to see who can take up the last couple of positions in the final. We have a 14 car grid so far, and it could be a full grid if we can get an extra couple of people in. Sorry, be one person, the one last position. So, not sure whether this is a last chance qualifier or whether we're just going straight into this. So bear with us whilst we find out the information we need for how this final is going to run, whether we're going to have a large class qualifier or straight into the final for the Champion of Champions. So it looks like we're straight into the final then. No need for a last chance qualifier. So as we all grid up, I'm behind Guy Jolly, Stephen Youngie next to Jones Billows with Rob Pellet and Darren Parker behind me. Of all the people to be behind me, some of the biggest rivalries in the K-Tech Fetcrest Touring Car Series, so they will no doubt very much enjoy being behind me. Up ahead we've got Benny in the front with of course Craig, Joe McCall, CJ, Noxie, Kieran, and then of course the rest in front of me, and at the back we've got Chris Watkis and Sam Brigg. Danny Scholes is fortunately had to go, as has Ben Watkis as well, so it's a shame that a few of them have got some technical issues with their internet. As you can see, as Darren is pushing. Well, that's Darren who spins out nearly wide. And Rob is directly behind me. I've got BriSCA up ahead with Craig Kellett in third. Looks like that's Joe and Benny up ahead in the lead. Rob is rubbing the back end of my car. Gonna get the undercut on Rob here. Get the crossover. That's someone going really wide. That's Benny, I think. No, it's not Benny. Might be Chris Watkis from the back of the grid. So I'm stuck in fifth. See if I can catch up with Rob now. Who's stuck behind Joe. Rob goes wide, so stand on the outside. I've got Sam Brigg near me, so Sam gets ahead. Rob and Sam are rubbing. I'm going to go on the inside, see if I can catch them. Rob goes really wide, he's on the outside. Oh, big push by Rob. Oh, me and Rob nearly going off. James Billows is there, so is Young and Kieran. Oh no, I've hit Kieran. Trying to come back on the circuit. I'm off into the tyre wall. That's my race over and done with pretty much from there. At the back now with Guy Jolly ahead, and I've got Benny in front. I try to get out of the way. So it's a real shame I'll be at the back now. I'm going to try and see if I can commentate on the actual race itself. Benny's leading, Craig is second, so it could be Benny to take the win if Craig doesn't get there. Craig has got, of course, Gold Roof, but Benny could win the whole thing. So I think Benny's still leading. We're counting down the laps. I think they're nearly just a few laps left. So Benny is going to be potentially taking the win here. I don't know how close they are. Is Joe in third? There's Chris Watkis, who's struggling behind me. Oh, Kieran's dropping down as well, I think. Something's happened there. That's Billows. Guy Jolly's there as well. So something's happened between them. See if we can get past Guy. And Mad Joe takes the win, so that's Joe McCall ahead of Craig Kellett. Didn't obviously quite see what happened there. Something must have happened. Craig still gets second. Betty goes all the way, drops down to fourth with Sam Briggs. So I say something's definitely happened. I think just finished behind Kieran because Kieran was off. Oh dear. Yeah, look, Kieran was just off. Something happened between Kieran and someone else as well. Joe McCall gets the Champion of Champions win, then Craig takes second, Sam Brigg takes third, Benny was fourth, Darren fifth, CJ sixth, Young Hugh seventh, Luke was eighth, Guy Jolly ninth, Rob was 10th, Kieran 11th, myself was 12th after going off early on in the race, with Billows 13th and Chris at the back. Well done to Joe then. Well, I think that's it, I believe. Don't know if there's anything more. I'll double check. Yep, that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for joining us. It was very entertaining. Some great racing, some really close racing tonight. So it was really entertaining to watch. It was good to be a part of it as well, to be watching. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us at the BriSCA V8 Hotstox final and a Champion of Champions. Congratulations to all our winners, especially Joe McCall for winning the Champion of Champions final. We'll see you next time, potentially for the teams race if we do have one. If we don't see you then, we'll see you for season 3 if that ever happens in the future. We'll keep you posted. Thank you very much.